As a professional forklift operator, you should know how your forklift works and what its limitations are. Then get to know safe work practices and always operate within safety limits. The first rule in forklift truck safety is to observe and understand the operating instructions as laid out by the manufacturer in the operating instructions and risk assessments. The next rule is to know and adhere to the truck's lifting capacity. In understanding forklift capacity, it is important you understand the forklift's stability principles. Your normal counterbalance forklift truck, like this Toyota, has a heavy counterweight at the back. When a large load is lifted, this counterweight will keep the truck's rear wheels firmly on the ground. You can see from this graphic that the truck's front wheels act as a fulcrum or balance point between the counterweight and the load. As long as the truck's load is close to the front wheels, the counterweight can keep the rear wheels on the ground. It's the same principle that allows a small child to lift her much larger dad off the ground on a seesaw. It's because of this principle of leverage that a lift truck's capacity is always specified by giving not only the maximum weight it can lift, but also by giving the maximum distance between the center of the load's weight and the face of the tines. This is called the load center distance. And at a given lifting height, usually full mast height unless specified otherwise, it is not permitted to lift any more than the capacity shown on the load capacity plate. On this sample rating plate, the truck's capacity is shown as 1,400 kilograms with a 600 millimeter load center. This load warning notice also gives other critical details, such as the maximum forward tilting angles, where inflatable tires are fitted, tire pressure, and maximum lift height. This is with the mast vertical and at a lift height of 4.3 meters. This rating also takes into account the Toyota E62 side shift. While this truck has a nominal capacity of 1,800 kilograms or 1.8 tons, ratings in Australia are usually taken at 600 millimeter load centers and at maximum lift height. This is because standard-sized Australian pallets are approximately 1,200 millimeters square. However, a capacity load whose load center is more than 600 millimeters from the face of the fork will cause the truck to tilt very quickly. It's just like the father moving away from the fulcrum or balance point of the seesaw. So the message here is to be sure with large and bulky loads that you always check not only the weight of the load, but also the distance that the load center will be away from the face of the tines. If the load you are to lift exceeds the maximum capacity shown on the load capacity plate, it will have to be lifted in segments, or you'll have to use a larger forklift. One last thing to remember about load capacity is this. The use of attachments, such as a jib or slippers, will generally reduce the load capacity of your forklift truck. Not only do these attachments add their own weight, but they also extend the load center distance. So before operating a truck with any attachments, always read the specifications for the D-rated load capacity. Another factor you should be aware of while operating a forklift truck is lateral or sideways stability. It might seem strange, but the largest number of rollover accidents occur when the forklift is unladen. These accidents often happen because drivers are unaware of the suspension system of most forklift trucks. To accommodate uneven surfaces with minimum effect on a load, the rear of the truck is supported by a pivot pin in the center of the axle. This three-point suspension is what's called the stability triangle. As long as the combined center of gravity of the truck and its load remains inside this stability triangle, the truck won't tip up. But if the center of gravity moves outside that triangle, the truck will start to tip up. And here's how it might happen. Suppose a heavy load is lifted and the mast is tilted back. The combined center of gravity will move back also. At first glance, you might think that this will make the truck more stable. But notice how much closer the center of gravity is now to the edge of the stability triangle. The same situation applies when the forklift is unladen, which explains why so many rollover accidents happen with unladen forklifts. And the problem gets even worse when the truck is driven up a ramp. You can see that the center of gravity is now right on the edge of the stability triangle. Just a slight bump or a dip in the floor will cause the forklift to tip over. For this reason, it is recommended that in these situations, forklifts with wider stability bases are used, such as dual-wheel forklifts, or the Toyota forklifts with SAS. In any case, it is essential that you follow the safe operating procedures in the chapters following this one. As part of the ongoing pursuit of excellence in safety and reliability, Toyota are proud to present the new Series 7 forklift. This state-of-the-art vehicle has many safety features which will minimize many of the hazards we have discussed so far in this video. The 7 Series differs to all other forklifts due to its system of active stability. The SAS system is a computer-controlled system including features like automatic fork leveling, an active mast rear tilt speed control, a key lift interlock which prevents movement of the tines unless the engine is running, an active mast front tilt angle control, and on the 4-wheel models, an active control rear stabilizer. The computer monitors over 3,000 different scenarios. The rocking rear axle can automatically lock when instability is detected, and mast functions can be slowed or inhibited if the load becomes too heavy.